conversation with a young ticket. That's what we're calling it. That's a platform where we give the youth to speak about political issues, and they are in there already. Some of them have already gotten tickets and are now just waiting for the people to decide. But we'd like to hear from you at Trevor Mbija at Citizen TV Kenya. Use the hashtag DayBreak. How can the young people change the face of politics and move it from personality politics to politics of ideology? That's the main question here. We'd like to hear your views on this. Let me introduce my guests real quick, beginning from my right. Njeri Maina, woman representative aspirant for Kirinyaga under the UDA ticket, as the scarf indicates. Also, Billian Ojiwa is there, Mathare member of parliament aspirant under UDA ticket. His is an interesting one because he used to be under ODM, so he will tell us why he shifted. And also Yusuf Noah Kibra, member of parliament aspirant under DAPK. We're still waiting for Felix Odiwuoru, who's also known as Jalango Langata, member of parliament aspirant under ODM, to speak to him on that as well. And Jerry, I'll start with you. How has your experience been like being a young person getting into politics? And they always say politics is a dirty game. Have you experienced the dirty side of politics?
Oh, I have. I am just actually getting into it because when I started out, I think people didn't take me as a serious contender for the seat. But I really went on the ground and did my homework. And at the end of the day, Trevor, we find that people are very quick to dismiss young people because you look at the finances, they don't have the financial capability to perhaps vie for the seats that they're asking for, and you take them as a joke. So that was my card. They never saw me coming. Yeah. But yes, I am getting the heat of it, but I'm ready for it.
Speaking of underestimating young people, how financially demanding is running for office?
Extremely financially demanding because we have based our politics around money. So you find that when you go to the ground, there's what we term as in the lingua of politics, kuchoma jeshi. People are actually expecting that you dish out money so that they can even sit to listen to you or even rather attend your meetings. So it is very, very hard for young candidates to vie because the structures that we have do not enable young candidates, or rather are not fashioned to work for young people who are vying for various positions. Yeah.
Billian, what has been your experience like?
Thank you, Trevor, for having me. First of all, I think it's not been easy as a young person, but the last 5 or so years I've been building up this together with the team. But talking about the finances, talking about the party politics, there's just a lot of things that contributes to this. So it's so unfortunate when you look at what some of the young people are going through. I can tell from experience. From outside, it looks like it's politics. It's so colorful, but once you are inside, you get to see there's so many corridors, and some of those corridors are really hard to get through.
Yeah. So what are those corridors, and what was your biggest hindrance? Because you moved parties. You were under ODM, then decided to go to UDA.
Yeah, I think 2 reasons. One, I resonate well with the UDA. If you look at the setup of Mathare and me growing up in Mathare, looking at the bottom-up economy and growing, starting from scratch to where we are right now, I think I felt more comfortable with the UDA. But I moved from ODM to UDA because, one, I think I want to demystify the politics of ethnicity. So looking at me as a Luo, thinking that, I belong to ODM. And then 2, the ODM were giving direct tickets. For us, people of Mathare, we needed a representation. We needed somebody who can represent us in parliament. So the main goal was beyond the party politics. But when the ODM decided to give a direct ticket to the MP who was done nothing to the people, we felt it was a disservice to our people. And together with the young Mathare professionals, we decided to seek another house that is more organized, that is more accommodative, and that's why I am in UDA and loyal to my party leader.
Were you ever consulted during this issuance of the direct ticket? Because there was always that conversation that you were sat down as aspirants and told so-and-so is more popular on the ground, or there's some sort of consensus, and this is the reason why we are now giving this ticket to this particular party?
I don't think ODM had a room for that. I think for them was a decision that had been made. In UDA, under Kenya Kwanza, we had a sit down with the NC aspirant. We had a sit down with my two other competitors, and our SG and the NCSG, explained to us why they want to use a scientific method to give a direct ticket to the leading candidate. So all of us agreed to that. So because it's all about not our own interest, but the interest of the people. So, but in the DM, there was no, especially from being new in the game, there is no room for, for consultation. They just believe that, we know what is right for the people of Mathare or people of Ugenya, and we do it. And in many parts of the country, I was in the village 2 weeks ago, people was crying foul. You've campaigned for 4 years or 3 years. Somebody's just coming in 2 months or 3 months and they're getting a direct ticket, or an MP was withdrawn from the ground, totally withdrawn, knowing that they'll work their way and get a direct ticket and come and, say, it's 6 Ps or whatever and go through. Yeah.
Yusuf, what has the experience been like?
Mine is a bit different.
Yeah.
But what Njeri said, it's true. It's been hard for young people to get into politics because it's quite expensive.
Yeah.
But again, I look at it differently. Most people also take that advantage because they know politicians come to you around the corner the time for campaign and elections.
Yeah. So it's time
so at Apia, at that time, I was checking our two. For us to listen to you, you have to give us something.
Yeah.
For me, it's been a different experience. For almost over 10 years, I've been doing quite a number of small projects in Kibra. That is starting from sports. I've been organizing tournaments, and I got into partnership with Crystal Palace from the UK. They've been supporting me with uniforms. So we've had projects that has been running for all this time. And then I started a foundation called Simama na Kibra. During COVID, we managed to feed about 3,668 families. And we started a Pigajeki program to help boost small-scale business people that has been running for quite some time.
Yeah.
So how my constituents identify with me is differently. I can actually even go into Kibra anytime and get a good number of people, and I can talk to them without even asking me for shilling, because they know what I've been doing for over the years. So mine is a bit different.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yours was more about grassroots activation. But what about party politics? Did you ever have to deal with party politics, the big wigs of the party?
Yeah, with party politics, I think it's all the same. For me, I'm running under DAP, Democratic Action Party of Kenya. It's all the same. There's people who feel like this ticket is rightfully mine, I should be given. There's these people through maybe party politics. There are those who go through tribal politics.
Yeah.
But one thing I really admire about the leadership of DAP, I can say that's the home of democracy. They tried, that's why you had those no wrangles during our nominations. They tried, okay, there was nothing like scientific or any poll that was done. For them, they conducted nomination. Unless you had no opponent, that's when you are given a direct ticket. Like me, I had 2 opponents who stepped down towards the end, and I was given the ticket.
Yeah, was that always your first choice, DAPK?
For me, actually, if it wasn't for DAPK, I think I would have taken the independent path.
Yeah, why?
Because I've never believed so much in party politics in Kenya.
Yeah.
Sometimes the highest bidder gets the ticket, and that's the case in so many parties.
Yeah.
And with DAPK, when it started, I've worked with some of the party leaders, and I got close to them. So with time, I saw how they are conducting everything within the party, and I'm like, you know what? I want to be part of this party.
Okay.
Yes.
Jerry, is this necessarily true that the highest bidder is the one who's given the ticket based on your experience? Because you underwent the nominations, but did you hear when most likely the candidate who had more money than you is the one who will be issued the ticket?
I think what happens is they're able to cover more ground than I am. And of course, that factors in when it comes to nomination. Because in my case, I actually underwent party nominations in Kirinyaga County, and the resources that you require to undergo that. Even just the basic, like having agents. We have around 315 polling centers. Imagine if you have 2 agents and you're paying them 1,000 each. So you can imagine the cost of that. So I think for young candidates, even when it doesn't narrow down to the highest bidder getting the ticket, it's just the finances, the issues of just being able to fund even the basic thing of having agents to protect your votes. And in UDA party, we saw that we've seen young emerging leaders like myself. We've seen Toto. We've seen Muge from Nandi. So I think, and I believe that it is just about not having the finances for most young people. But yes, we cannot ignore what my good friend Refika has said, that sometimes the highest bidder gets the ticket, and it's because of all those other factors that come in. They are able to marshal their way through the party. They are able to perhaps get or canvass for support across the party. And I, as a young person, if I don't have the finances, I'm unable to do that.
Yeah, give me an estimate of how much a young person would need, because just based on the agents alone, we're already talking 630,000. We're heading towards the 1 million shilling mark. So how much would you need just to start off basic?
I really wouldn't want to cap it, because I believe that
a range,
the dynamics are different.
Yeah.
But perhaps 2 million.
Minimum.
That is the minimum, the basic minimum, because you need to run around. Even if you're just doing the basic, like just going to churches and talking to people, you need to move around, right? Yeah. You need to have a small team. If those people are with you the entire day, you have to give them at least something, a token of appreciation. Yeah. So the basic minimum, perhaps 2 million, but that is not even workable. It is, you're really struggling with that. Yeah. Yeah.
At 2 million, you're still living hand to mouth.
Yes, you are.
Billion, what is your estimate?
So the other day, because we now making our campaigns be more professional. Yeah. So we sat down with the team and we were working on the budget, and it's coming from 6 to 10 million. Looking at the branding, you're looking at logistics, looking at the people you're working with. So it's quite expensive. Yeah. So range of 6 million to 10 million.
That's your budget for running for member of parliament.
And I have been working in that community for the last 5 years. We've been, interacting with people. There are so many services that we've given. So that is just the basic things that we want to cover, and it's 6 to 10 million.
You also have an outfit that reaches out to the community.
Yes,
tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. My foundation, the Billion Foundation. So I have a resource center in the community. We have given more than 1,000 women grants for business during the COVID-19. Yeah. We gave water and soap during the COVID-19. We have a library at the center. Our resource center have a home for children with special needs. So what I'm trying to do is not new, or it's not politics. I'm just trying to open the circle of the things that I've been doing in the community, and listening more and trying to reach to more people. But still, it's expensive. You transit from being a guy who's been doing good to the community, and now you become a politician, and they look at you as a politician. So we want to be as competitive as possible. We are not taking chances, because I know this is an opportunity for the people of Mathare to redeem themselves and have somebody who can represent their interest. That's why we are reaching out and having our own budget too. Yeah.
Okay. What is your estimate based on what you've done and also what you need to do? As
I can say, just to be honest, minimum is 16 million.
Minimum is 16?
16 million. That is to, I am talking from February to August.
February to August.
That is, I have a secretariat, and we've looked into everything. Yeah. Everything we need, communication, everything that we need, because we have empowerment, because we are doing our campaign differently. Yeah. Rather than going around giving people 150 shillings, we've identified a number of youth groups and women groups, and we know what are their needs. Yeah. So we have equipments to buy, and our budget, it's 34 million.
Your budget is 34 million?
34 million, yes.
For 7 months?
Not
February
for 7 months. February to August. That is almost 5 months and a half.
34
million. The minimum is 16 million, so we are looking for that money.
Where do you get that kind of money? For a young person, where do you
course,
get that kind of money?
I'm not saying the money is there.
Yeah.
We are looking for it through friends, through well-wishers, through our partners.
Yeah.
Yes.
But what happens then if this money, how will you recover it? Because the biggest concern has always been...
but I'm not in business.
You won't make this much.
I am not in business to recover it because I've been doing community work all my life. Mm-hmm. And if you have the mindset of how am I going to recover this, so meaning you're in business. Yeah. If you are just there for the community, whatever you do for the community, it's just for the betterment of your community.
So you go in there for service?
For service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if they don't elect you?
If they don't elect me, I'll continue. I have the foundation, Simama na Kibra.
Yeah.
It's been running, so I'll continue. Yeah. You know, I can serve at any level.
Are we then saying that if you don't offer something to the electorate, they will not give you a chance to leadership?
As I told you, we are trying to change that. Yeah. And in Kibra, we've changed that perception to a certain level by what we've been doing. Mm. The politics of going around giving people 150 shillings, you know, I can do the same, you can do the same, Jerry will do the same. Yeah. So what happens is the electorate will be like, okay, who am I voting for? Trevor has given me 100, Jerry 100, Refiga 100. So who am I supposed to vote for? So you need that added advantage. Yeah. That's why we're doing a campaign of empowerment.
So this money is for projects and not for handouts?
Yeah, no, we don't do handouts at all.
Okay.
Yes.
Which essentially some people would argue that it's pretty much the same thing. Because if they come, what kind of projects do you have in mind?
But we've been doing it before even election. I told you we had this Pigajeki program whereby we were boosting small-scale business, people within Kibra. So we are trying to expand the same.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
So if you've always been doing this, then why do you need that member of parliament position? Why don't you just continue serving this?
You see, that one is from a personal capacity, friends and well-wishers. Like I gave you an example. During COVID, the pandemic, we managed to feed 3,668 families. Yeah. Yeah. But the Kibra population, we are talking of close to 500,000. So we did not get to everyone. So on my personal capacity, I will not be able to do much. Yeah. But you know, as a member of parliament, apart from the CDF, you can lobby through private sector and non-government organization, and you'll be able to do a lot. Yeah. Yes.
Jerry, how is your budget 2 million and you're dealing with a county? They are dealing with constituencies and their budgets are way more than yours.
Trevor, I didn't say that's my budget. You asked me to give an estimate of how much you would be able to run on, at least to get to the bare minimum. And I say that is living hand to mouth because my county has 20 wards. Yeah. So imagine if you give, or rather apportion 2 million to each ward, because you need a secretariat, you need people who are running the campaign even when you're not on the ground. Okay. So if you were to work on a proper budget, you'd come with a figure of around 40 million, which is way beyond what you would actually earn within that period. So it's always been the issue in Kenyan politics. How do politicians recover this money? Yeah. And it is something that the society feels entitled that for you to get an elective position, there has been that deep running issues that we need to discuss, and as a community, you know, from a personal viewpoint, engage with each other and have a sit down and decide that we need to move from that. Because once you declare that you're vying, which is something that a lot of people don't talk about, your community expects that if someone is unwell, you need to cater for that. If someone has any issue, you need to cater for that. The social welfare issues, because suddenly you're a leader. And at the end of the day, I think there's a disconnect between what leaders should offer, or rather what we are elected to do. Yeah. If I'm elected in Kirinyaga County, I am elected to represent them in Parliament as a woman representative and do my roles. But I think the community understands that beyond that, You know, I need to cater for all their social issues,
Yeah.
which is where which is why you see we have an issue with saying, politicians have been, you know, looting public funds. I mean, there is a demand, Trevor.
Yeah.
How is a politician going to meet them? And that is a big question. It's the elephant in the room that we don't want to deal with as a society.
Yeah.
Personally, I've been offering pro bono services through my law firm, Jeremiah Law Advocates, and I've also been sponsoring students when I am able to, because given my age, I haven't had enough time to earn money to be able to run a lot of community projects. But at the end of the day, the demand is there. And you can actually be a good leader. You can have been doing everything on the ground. Somebody comes with money and the table's turn. And
Yeah.
those are facts that we need to discuss. Those are things that we need to talk about. How do we change that? Civic education. There is a lot that needs to be done as regards civic education. Does the voter or the citizenry understand what a leader is supposed to do? Do they understand why they vote you in? Or do they just vote you in because, my friend said, you've given them 100, somebody has come, given them 200, so yeah, they're their favorite, you know?
Yeah.
They don't care that Njeri is actually, rather has their interest at heart. And there are all those dynamics that we need to discuss and also ensure that proper civic education
Yeah.
is done. And it's not something that's going to change overnight.
Yeah, and Billion, this is an interesting conversation because do the people understand your role as a member of parliament, or the moment you declare that you're running, then you're their source of refuge for all their social issues?
I think some understands, but I also understand my people. You know, right now children are going back to school, and you know the first refuge, the first person when you think about when you want to take your child to school and you don't have any other means is the leader, because how the leaders have been portrayed. Politics was meant to lock out young people. If you're looking at the history of politics in this country, it used to be a retirement plan. So you make your money, you come with your money, you influence your way, and you move. But right now, I think with the civic education and also having the MCs close to the people, it has changed a lot. But still, we come from vulnerable communities. My community, we don't have role models. Our role models are the politicians. So anytime that we have any problem, the first person that we call up the politicians. When somebody is arrested, I get a lot of calls that mtoto yangu ameshikwa when the schools are opening right now, and we totally understand them. We are coming in to change that narrative, to let them know our roles, but also to push, because we understand our communities, push for policies that can protect these vulnerable communities. If you look at the amount that is set aside for bursaries, for people in the village or well-established areas and vulnerable communities like Kibra and Madare, it's almost equal. But if you look at the needs, there's more needs in Kibra and Madare. So our role and responsibility is just to come with the clear picture of what is happening on the ground and push for policies so that we can have more resources, so that they don't need to knock at the politicians' doors every now and then. And most cases, they don't even get that help.
Yeah.
So if we have clear policies and enough resources, they'll not need to come in and knock at our doors.
All right, let's take a quick break on DayBreak. When we come back, we'll still continue this conversation. Now we'll switch it up and talk about party politics versus party ideology. How do you stick to that as a people? Trevor Mbiji at Citizen TV Kenya, use the hashtag DayBreak. I see some of your questions here. We'll pose them to my panelists in just a bit.